Hello, I'm James Hertz from MakeUseOf.com, and today we're going to talk about Creative's latest desktop speaker edition, the Pebble V3. This eUSB powered and Bluetooth 5.0 enabled device has been tweaked to give you better sound quality and optimal performance, as well as featuring a minimalistic design that can fit on pretty much any space. So if you're thinking about updating your desktop speakers, we're going to see if this device is right for you. When talking about the Pebble V3, there's a lot of focus on the design aesthetics of the line. So if you've never had a Pebble before, they all have this slick black matte finish as well as the gold design. So if you're transitioning, you're not going to have to do any aesthetic changes in your environment. In terms of build quality, it's a hard plastic like you would come to expect. At the very bottom, you have a grip. Just kind of standard. It'll attract a little hair, but if you've had desktop speakers before, this is the same kind of stuff you're going to run into over and over again. With the Pebble V3, the right speaker has everything you need. You have your volume control knob, which you can adjust. You have your Bluetooth connectivity button, and you have your LED light, which will both indicate whether you have an adequate power sourcing for the USB or if you're trying to connect to a device in pair. The left speaker is exactly aesthetically the same, except with the Creative logo. And together they have about a 4.4 foot cord of length between them, as well as a 4-foot cord towards the computer. So if you're trying to get these tightly squeezed on your desktop, you don't have to offer up a lot of real estate. While the USB-C powers the device and can serve as a connective option, it's important to remember that this device is recently upgraded with Bluetooth 5.0. So if you have the Pebble V2, this was not an option before. So if you're wanting to play back via your cell phone some music, you can do that. Also, at the back of the right speaker, there is an aux-in outlet. So if you're wanting to connect to something like an older MP3 player, you can take advantage of that as well. In terms of the actual performance of the Pebble V3, I was very satisfied with these speakers for their size and cost overall. They always fell in that standard range where it would alter between about 60 and 85 decibels while listening to different things. I tried to max it out with loud music while detecting the decibel with a sound meter app, and they performed really well with the gain and adequate power each time. In terms of whether they lose performance or if there's any distortion at higher decibel ratings, there's a little bit, but you're not going to notice it, and you're probably not going to be at those decibel ranges enough to actually notice that happening. Also, in terms of performance, Creative has kept the Pebble's 45-degree angle of their speakers, so it's always going to be at ear level, and you're going to be able to get that kind of peak deliverance no matter where you've positioned these. Also, they have a clear dialogue processing on each of these. So if you're listening to ambience and then you want to hear someone speak, it will auto adjust so you can hear that clearly without having to go and turn up your dial really fast. It's a nice little feature that you probably, again, won't notice unless you're hypersensitive to it, but it is a nice feature nevertheless that the Pebble has. With the design aesthetics of the Pebble V3 out of the way, there are two major areas to talk about before we look at the performance of the device. The first area to talk about is the connectivity. First off, it comes with a baseline USB-C cable, but it also comes with a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Since it's foremost a desktop speaker, you can fit basically any laptop or desktop setup you want between the two port types. The second major part to talk about with the Pebble V3 is its power and its power output. Since the Pebble V3 is the device that is USB powered, you need to make sure you're going to funnel enough power into the device for it to hit its max potential. If you're using a laptop or a desktop, this isn't much of a concern unless you have a much older device. But if you're wanting to power via another USB output on the device, then you need to make sure it's adequately powered. So if you're with the USB-A type, then you need to have at least 5 volts, 2 amps. And if you have the USB-C plug-in, then you need to make sure it's at least 10 watts of power. Another important built-in feature of the Pebble V3 is its gain switch. At the very bottom of the Pebble, you will see a little lever to swap on high gain. With here, this is where you can get that amplified audio on the device as long as it's adequately powered. So if you want to achieve that 8 watt RMS and that peak power of 16 watts, you're going to want to keep this on the entire time. With all these things noted, the question is the Creative Pebble V3 a desktop speaker that will fit your lifestyle? And the answer is yes. If you're looking for something affordable, visually appealing, and really lets you fit that minimalistic lifestyle. If you want good performance and really high decibel gains, then you may want to go for a slightly more expensive device, but at around $40 for these speakers, it's really hard to go wrong if you're just trying to get something for casual use. With that said, a big thank you to Creative for providing this Pebble V3 for review, and to you, our audience, for watching. If you're ready to redecorate from those old speakers and get your own V3, be sure to enter our giveaway at makeuseof.com, where you can win your own Pebble V3. And if you want to read more about this, be sure to check out our written review at makeuseof.com. As always, a big thank you to our audience, and be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, and any comments you have.